Hi, I'm coming in for a moment. I have this glazed sort of a urn. I'm going to use it for flowers, and it's pretty just the way it is. But I'm going to use it for some cottagey looking roses and flowers for kind of a tall arrangement to go in the room I'm redecorating. And everything in there is sort of not exactly shabby chic, but sort of a cottage chic kind of a thing. But I want this to be white, and then I'll figure out how I'm going to work on these details. But this thing is glazed. See how that's shiny? And it's slick. And I'm worried that even with a chalk and clay-based paint, that it's not going to stick good on this. So I'm going to use the Dixie Belle Slick Stick. And what this stuff does, it took me a minute to catch on to the name, but what this stuff does is create a sticky surface, or not a sticky surface, but create a surface on slick surfaces that sort of like a primer, but a good primer that allows you to paint on stuff like this glazed, or things like laminate countertops and things like that, where you can't scratch it off later. You're not going to do all that work to make it pretty and then have it bite you in the rear end later on. Getting my chip brush out of this Ziploc bag where I had it in my refrigerator from day before yesterday while I was working on the end table, and I'm gonna put it back in there when I'm done, because I'm gonna use more slick stick on the dresser and the headboard that go with that same set. But I wanted to just slap a good coat of this on here this morning before I go to work, to where when I get home tonight I can do the fun part. And I don't even know if this part's going to absorb the primer. But I wanted to make sure and slap a good coat. And it doesn't have to be anything neat. I'm just slapping it on there. In order for the paint that I want to do tonight, when I get to make it pretty, I want it to stick and I want it to stay. So I've been pretty impressed so far with the Slick Stick. I'm not a person who loves to do prep work, but I am a person who gets upset if I do a whole lot of work trying to make something pretty and then have to turn around later and it's got scratches and dents and dings on it that make it not so pretty. And you know, if I would have taken an extra, this is probably going to take me 5 minutes or less, if I would have taken an extra 5 minutes in the beginning to prep my piece, then I would have had a better stick and a better piece in the long run. So I paid $9.99 for this thing yesterday at Goodwill. And I normally don't spend that much. I was there looking for a table to stand a pretzel machine on for work. Couldn't find one at my local flea market right down the block from me. So I'm like, well, at lunchtime I'll run over to Goodwill. They just moved into a new building. Hadn't been there in a while. And they didn't have a table that I needed, but it was nice and clean in there. And I did find this, and it had another one that was really cute, kind of a flat one that matched it, but it had one of the handles broken off. And I'm like, I'm not going to do something where then I'm trying to figure out how to make a new handle and everything else. All I need is one. I wanted something to put some tall, pretty, cottagey looking flowers in. And I want it, and while I think this is beautiful, this color, it's not going to match the room that I'm working on. And I'm trying to, you know, redo a whole entire bedroom for, you know, probably under $200 by the time I, you know, buy. I'm waiting, I believe a sale starts any day at Sherwin-Williams for the wall paint. I've already went and got a sample and picked out my color, and then I came home with that sample and actually painted that big rose painting that's going to go behind the bed. The back of that is Sherwin-Williams wall paint, and I'll use it a little bit in some decor, but the sample paints are not good enough to paint your walls on them. I'm painting a dark room that's been a forest green into a kind of a muted teal color, so I need a paint and primer in one. And you know, I'm in my mid-50s, so this is going to be the last time I paint that bedroom, I'm sure. I've got other rooms in the house to tackle with the rest of my years. So I want it to look good and to stay and to be a good paint. I believe in using good paint and good paint products and good paint brushes, but I'm using the heck out of this Dixie Belle chip brush because I'm wanting to job up in all of these crevices and stuff here and use this this primer. And I'm not needing to get up into these crevices that good. I'm just wanting to get, I'm going to get the lid. I don't know why, because I'm probably not going to use it. But you never can tell. May as well make it matte. Garage sale in 2 years. Somebody else may want the lid. They may want to put Great Uncle Harry's ashes in here for all I know. But I'm going to put flowers in it. But anyway, it has that ceramic glazed finish, and it has the old world feel because some areas they didn't do, but there's no way I'm going to be able to paint over that slick finish and have it stay, even with chalk paint, even with clay paint, and all the ones that I use where you're not supposed to have to prep. Sometimes you need to use your good common sense and think, that's awfully slick, and you know, this stuff is good for most everything, but I might better save myself some frustration later on and do a little prep. So that's what I'm doing this morning. And I had somebody ask me yesterday how I do so much, and I don't know. Where there's a will, there's a way. You just want to. I woke up early this morning. I'm going to go spend the evening with my grandkids tonight, so I won't be home to cook dinner, so I've already cooked dinner, so it'll be ready for my husband to eat tonight when he gets home. And I decided I've got an hour before I have to leave for work, and I'm dressed, I'm ready. So I decided, man, I should go ahead and throw a coat of that slick stick on that vase so that I could paint it tonight if I'm in the mood, which I probably will be, once the grandkids wear me out. And that way it will be prepped. So there you go. I believe that probably, I don't see a timer on here, but even with me jacking my jaws, that took less than 5 minutes. And tonight, well, usually you should wait 24 hours, but we'll see if that happens. But anyways, by 24 hours from now, the way that Slick Stick works is the slick glazed surfaces that were on here, I'm not going to be able to scratch this paint off with my fingernail. That's how I'm going to know whether it needs another coat and whether the Slick Stick worked, and whether I should go on into, you know, probably spending another 5 or 10 minutes slapping a coat of chalk paint on it. And then I'm going to want to glaze, and I'm going to want to wax, and I'm going to want to make it look cute, and all those cute crevices and details that are on here. And I want to make sure it's going to stick. So there you go. That's how I would slap on some slick stick. The reason why I would slap on some slick stick. And we shall see. Because if I can scratch this later on, I'm going to come on here and tell you about that too. But I don't believe I will be able to. So I will talk to you soon. Thanks. Bye.